Greetings and welcome to your Oracle message for the day. I am Kat Morgan and I welcome you to this video, to this channel, and to this space. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out the video, checking out the channel. This is a collective reading and it is timeless. So whenever you come across this video, however, and whenever you find it, it is the right time for you to be getting this message. And we have just started recently going through a new deck. This is one of Colette Baron-Reid's decks. This is called the Enchanted Map Oracle. And our card number today is card number 46, Coming Apart. And as I mentioned when we first introduced this deck, not every card, not every reading is always sunshine and rainbows and little unicorns frolicking about. This is not going to be one of those easy readings, but it's a necessary reading. And it's the right time for you to be getting this message. And despite appearances, and I think that's what this card is really telling us, is look beyond the appearance of. Very, very clear, coming apart. I'm getting a strong sense of Gemini with the twins. I'm also getting very strong sense of Libra energy with the balance, the scales. And we just had in our weekly Thoth Tarot reading, the card adjustment, which makes perfect sense. right exactly the right time in the part of the week. As we're coming into the middle of the week, that's when the adjustment was coming in. This idea of balancing the scales, of maybe righting a wrong, correcting a course of action. You know what you need to be doing. You know who you need to be being. You know all of this already. Nobody needs to tell you. You don't need to hear it from me or anybody else, tarot readers, whoever, does not matter. You already know this. You've got the information inside of you. You always have. That was yesterday's reading. Makes perfect sense. This card comes in right after that. But again, it is timeless. So having said all of that, the number 46 obviously reduces down to a 10, a 1. 1 is the number of beginnings. So as things end, as things sometimes come apart, new things can begin. New creation can come in. And sometimes we have to remove the debris, the trash, the dead leaves, and clear the way so that as we're planting our seeds of intention for the life that we know we are supposed to be living, our authentic selves, that there's good ground to be placing those seeds in to begin with, that you've got a good earth that is going to nourish and support those seeds, so to speak, right? That you've got a good environment internally. That's where your earth is. Your physical body represents earth in the most basic sense, at its most molecular atomic level, the quantum, okay? So coming apart, also getting tower energy, obviously. I see masks coming away. I see things that we knew were not right. They weren't balanced. The blindfold is coming off and those ties are loosening and releasing. And sometimes that's a difficult energy to have to go through when maybe you're in the middle of a relationship, a marriage, and it feels like things are falling apart. Just keep in mind, sometimes things fall apart to fall together, to come together. Sometimes things come apart to come together in a more perfect way. You may end up staying in the same relationship, but the relationship is evolving. And just remember, we're human beings. Anytime you have a relationship with anybody, whether it's romantic or business, does not matter. It's going to continually evolve. It's never going to stay the same. You guys aren't rocks, and even rocks change over time. So nothing stays the same. Everything continually evolves. And that's a joy. That's a beauty. That's the magic of our being is that we are constantly evolving. We are constantly changing. So coming apart, to me, you can see the sun coming right through the center of this. This is where the dawn is, where the night falls away and the sun rises. So let's take a look in the book and find out. I haven't read it, so we're going to be reading it together, you and I. And I always forget, if you feel so inclined to like and or subscribe to the video and channel, I don't get any money from it, but it does help the YouTube algorithm, help other people find this video and find this channel. So, all right. So card number 46, coming apart. Let's find out what the book has to say now. Now is the time to take separate paths. The coming apart card is a sign to put an end to what is no longer working for you. Has a commitment been broken? Perhaps you need to break a promise or change course because you took on more than you could handle. This is a perfect time to reassess your goals and values. Are your actions in alignment with what you believe in? Have you created a partnership that is not mutually beneficial? Separation, dissolution, and dispersion are all in focus now. If someone wants to break away from you, don't chase the relationship out of a sense of fear. The price you'll pay will not be worth the prize. Separation brings good fortune. Well, that's a really interesting reading. Not at all different from what I was getting from the image from the card originally, obviously, but a little more centered on relationships specifically. But I still think relationships in how we feel about something, how we approach things, are also on the table, honey. So this could be a relationship that you have with yourself, about the way you feel about your physical body or the way that you feel about your finances. Say, for example, you've always been living from paycheck to paycheck. You've always been just on the edge of disaster financially, have always been, racing to the bank with the money before the rent goes through. If that's the way that you've been living your life, I'm just going to tell you two things. Number one, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to live like that. No longer. You're done with that. If you want to be, you have to choose to be. And sometimes that process can be a little difficult, but it's so worth it, because why stay in a relationship of any kind with yourself, with somebody else, with something in your environment? Those are relationships too. You have relationships with your house. You have relationships with your car. Are you hanging on to a car that doesn't need to be in your life anymore? It just keeps falling apart, coming apart. It's literally coming apart, and you just keep taping it back together, right? Things need to come apart so that the new dawn can come in. The seed breaks open. The cocoon splits open. The skin is shed. This is your time to shine. This is your time to come out of your shell. It's a little scary, but I'm telling you, the universe is telling you through this message, this is the right time for you to be doing that. So I'm just going to leave it with you guys for that. A little bit shorter message for today, a little bit shorter reading. That's okay. I love you. You are, I know it's difficult. It's not pretty. It doesn't look good. It sometimes doesn't smell good, but it's all going to be so amazing when you come out on the other side of this. So keep your strength, keep your power as being who you are, as knowing who you are, as living your true self without apology and without excuses. You've totally got this. You are amazing. You really are. Just look in the mirror and remember I told you that. I love you. Namaste and ciao for now.